Since 2003, Total Air has been keeping Tampa Bay area homes cool with friendly service, skilled male and female techs, and easy online booking. Perfect for your hot Florida days.
Good to go?
Good to go.
Total Air, cool responsibly.
When your power goes out, remember just how inconvenient your life can be. No lights, no refrigeration, no heating or cooling, no electronics. But with a Generac home standby generator, you'll have power when you need it. Our Generac generators automatically provide backup power after sensing a power outage, so your life goes on uninterrupted. Get a free 10-year warranty with the purchase of any air-cooled generator. Call Generac Generators today. Generac Generators. Life is primitive without power.
Streaming from the Tampa Bay 28 Weather Center in Studio A, this is Dennis Phillips Live. Sponsored by Generac Generators. Life is primitive without power. And Total Air.
How you doing, everybody? It is a Friday night edition of Dennis Phillips Live. Thank you very much for checking in today. You know, we've had a busy week. We've had more rain than we've seen in a long time. We got a lot of folks in the house, as always. Now, usually we do a little bit of a weather background and we do some chit chat and then see how the folks on TV are going. But we're gonna buck tradition tonight because we got a big time guest, WWE legend Titus O'Neil, you probably know him by, and so he has a huge event that's going on tomorrow over at Ray J, and it's been going on with his foundation for 9 years, and it's a really cool event. And I was kind of excited because I mentioned to our weather, we got our weather text thread with all our Mets, Greg and Allie and Jason, Elizabeth and Brittany. And I texted, hey, we got Titus O'Neil coming on for DPL tonight. And Jason responded, he's great, except he's a Gator, because Jason's a Knoll. Now, y'all know my son, I've had 2 Gators. My daughter graduated undergrad, UF. I worked in Gainesville from 89 to 92 at Channel 20. My other son graduated UF, and my son Jake starts next week as a freshman. So we have a long-standing tradition over at the University of Florida, but not one like Thaddeus does. So Thaddeus, welcome to DPL, and thanks for stopping by. You've got a really big event going on tomorrow. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the event, and I'm going to take some video, and you can kind of talk a little bit about what it is.
Yeah, well, first off, thank you for having me on a Friday night lights delight, as I like to say.
Yeah,
but we're having our 9th annual Back to School Bash at Raymond James Stadium. Everything starts and kicks off at 9:01. That is not a typo. The 1 represents unity, and we'll be giving out over 30,000 backpacks with school supplies. We have health physicals, dental screenings, cleanings, extractions. We got 190 dentists that are readily available for those that have signed up to take care of their dental needs, all for free with health physicals. We have Lions Eye Institute there, as well as the Glazier Vision Foundation, to make sure that kids that have eye exams, and then right out of their eye exams, they get a chance to go and pick out a frame that they choose and get a brand new pair of glasses. We got barbers. We got almost close to 30 barbers that'll be there doing free haircuts. We got hair braiders. You know, obviously I don't have to worry about getting my hair braided, but I might go try to get me a fresh shave before everything gets going. And we have food, free food, fun, so much more. It is the 9th annual Back to School Bash, and I couldn't be more thrilled and excited, about the fact that we get a chance to come together and celebrate for the first time in over 10 years Hillsborough County Schools, being an A-rated school district.
Yeah, that's awesome. And here's video from last year. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yes,
so
sir.
tell the folks what that's amazing that, you know, there's a lot of folks that have a tough time. They just simply can't afford to go to the dentist or go to the doctor. So, I mean, all those folks are welcome. Now, I guess my question would be, it starts at 9:01. Are people lining up beforehand?
People are lining up. Yeah, last year we had the first people lining up at about 5:15 a.m. Many of them, some of them hadn't signed up for physicals or the other medical needs, and the link was closed. So what we like to tell people is that sometimes people don't show up. So, you know, if you're here early and we can get you in, and somebody doesn't show up, we'll try to make an accommodation. The other addition that we have this year is that they've made it mandatory that high school kids, 9 through 12, that are athletes have to have an EKG. Well, we're going to be doing EKGs for those entering into high school that are playing sports, which obviously, even with insurance, can be upwards of $200. So that will be free as well.
How did this come about? I mean, it's such a great event, and I mean, 9th annual again. But you know, how did you get in your mind to do this? Because it is just amazing for folks who need the help.
Well, it started in a meeting with a great friend of mine, Brian Ford, the president of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We were looking at trying to figure out ways. I did a lot of stuff and still do a lot of stuff with the players individually, but never really did anything collectively with the organization. I do a lot with the Tampa Bay Lightning, as everyone can see, especially during the playoffs. But I wanted to do something that would create a holistic approach to getting people ready to go back to school. My story is very well documented. I'm a product of a sexual assault. My mother had me at the age of 12 years old. I was labeled a kid that would be dead or in jail by the time I was 16, and I was kind of headed that direction. Got a chance, as we spoke earlier, to go to a place called the Florida Sheriff's Boys Ranch in Live Oak, Florida. And if it wasn't for that place and the people that were there, I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in today as the first person in my family to graduate from high school and the first person in my family to graduate from college. I went to the University of Florida. Go Gators. I'm a proud Gator dad as well. I have two of my two sons play football at the University of Florida, so I'm really excited to see what the team does this year as well. But it really just came from a conversation. As I said before, I've been doing a lot of work here in the Tampa Bay area community since I've been here in 2005, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And the first year we did it, we gave out 15,000 backpacks in like a matter of 90 minutes. And so now we're giving out 30,000 backpacks in addition to all the other things that we're doing. So it does take over 100 partners, private and public partners that come together and help us make this happen, over 500 volunteers throughout the course of the packing of the backpacks as well as on the day of the event. But we have a good time. It is extremely hot, and everyone always questions whether or not I'm worried about it raining.
No rain. No rain. When's it running? From 9:01 until? Until
1:01.
No, you'll be good.
Yeah, I say it all the time. Even if it is forecasted to storm, it'll storm everywhere else except for where we're doing the event.
Exactly.
I'm very much optimistic about the fact that we'll have a great event.
So, what about registration? Does it require a registration in advance?
Yeah, so for the medical, it required registration in advance. The registrations are closed for the medical stuff, but for anyone that wants to get a free backpack, be a part of the festivities, they just come. It's first come, first serve until everything is gone. And so, as far as being able to attend the event, there is no registration required.
And tell us a little bit more about your foundation, because I think it's just so amazing that, you know, folks who have, this was not home to start with. I mean, the Tampa Bay area was not your home, and you've embraced it as your home, and starting these foundations, it's all about giving back to the community, and it seems like that is just number one on your list.
Yeah, I mean, I always tell people that I'm a recipient of people that invested in me when they had essentially nothing to gain in return. I was a poor kid, labeled as a kid that would be dead or in jail by the time I was 16, and if it wasn't for the generosity of so many people that poured into the Florida Sheriff's Boys Ranch, the Boys and Girls Club, and many other sectors that helped me become the man that I am today and the father that I am today, I wouldn't understand what serving, I wouldn't have I would not have the appreciation that I have to serve the community. So our foundation is the Bullard Family Foundation. We do stuff throughout the entire year. You know, there was a school in East Tampa, that Sly Middle Magnet School, that was a failing and underperforming school for years. And now for the first time in 25 years, I wrapped my arms around that school in 2015, and we've been chugging along ever since. And for the first time in 25 years, we are a B school in the 6th highest zip code for children living in poverty in the entire state of Florida. And so it was really just, for me, I love Tampa. I love the entire Tampa Bay area. And it's a place that, you know, obviously going off into WWE stardom and being able to call a place like Tampa home, we got the best airport in the world. We do. And you legitimately have the best airport in the world. Great weather most of the time. I'm accustomed to the heat because I'm from Florida, but it's just this community and how well we come together in times of need and for others that just keeps the fire lit for me to understand that, yeah, I'm one person, but if you stack people together, there's a domino effect that can happen for good. And with so much, you know, negativity that's out there surrounding politics and religious beliefs and et cetera, sexual orientation, I just feel like people from all walks help me get into this position that I'm in today. So I'm never running for office. People ask me all the time. I cuss way too much, and I just want to help people in the way that God designed me to do it. And I do know that we are going to have a lot of politicians at the event tomorrow, and I've asked all of them to not wear your campaign shirts. Don't try to pass out paraphernalia. I'm going to give you a Bullet Family Foundation t-shirt. If you want to come out here and you're volunteering, we'll put you out of work. But this is not the place for you to come out, and this is not a divisive event. Yeah. It's not an event, you know, to focus on anything else except for getting these kids and these families prepared to get ready for an upcoming school year, which starts on Monday.
I'll tell you, I wish you could see all the hearts that are coming across right now. I mean, everybody, I mean, just loving, because you are, I mean, obviously so well-spoken, such a huge part of the community. I am curious, do your boys, do they feel like how do they live up to what Dad does? I mean, what is the direction that they're looking for, or do they just embrace the love? I mean,
I have some of the greatest human beings ever as children, and I get text messages about them all the time. As a person that never grew up with a father in the home, never met my biological dad, to be able to say that I have 3 amazing children, all Division I athletes, all honor roll students. You know, I tell parents and people, and they say, what's their secret sauce? I say, I don't try to tell my kids what to do. I try to live the example out of what it is to do, whatever it is. And I try to live my best life and try to put them in a position to do the same. And I think if we allow people to operate in their gifts and their passions, you know, because a lot of people will try to push people to sports or to music because that's what they did, and et cetera, or they want them to be a doctor or a lawyer because that's what goes on in the family. And you can get a lot of resentment that way. So I've always tried to position myself as a father to just live out the message that I want my kids to be. And that's, at the end of the day, it's really about being great human beings. We can be wealthy, we can be poor, and somehow, some way, if you're a good human being, life always brings things full circle. And so, again, that's probably one of the main reasons why. I was vice president of student government at the University of Florida. So I got all the political stuff out of the way, and I found out how it really works, and everybody's doing all X, Y, and Z. Ashley Moody worked with me in student government. Nikki Freed worked with me in student government. The list goes on and on. So I call them most of the time, and I'm like, you know, hey, can you guys just like sit at the table and figure out how to get, I mean, I just put $107 of gas in my car. So if y'all can start with that and then start with these eggs, then we'll be all right. But that's the reason why it's so important for people to go out and just be the best human beings they can be. You don't have to be wealthy to change a person's life. You just got to be a good human. Sometimes a simple positive word to someone at the right time in their life can really make a difference. And that's what happened to me. Someone told me at 12 years old, I love you and I believe in you, and that there's no such thing as a bad kid. And at that time, a lot of people that told me that they loved me turned around and abused me, beat me, cursed me, etc. And they didn't believe that I can do any of these things. So I was very insignificant as a kid, but as an adult, I've become very significant, and that's truly because God has really helped me and showed me how to operate in my purpose. And I just want other people to do the same.
Yeah, but when did you go through a growth spurt?
I went through a growth spurt at 13, I've always, but when my freshman year at college, I was eating like crazy and lifting weights for like, on a real program at Florida.
With Steve Spurrier, you were saying?
Yes, with Coach Spurrier.
Yeah.
And I went from a lanky 220 to a very muscular 245 in like one summer. And it's ironic that my son, Titus, who's almost the same size as me now, did the exact same thing. We were very close in the same jersey number, and he hit exactly the same amount of pounds that I gained my freshman year at Florida was the same amount that he gained at the University of Florida.
Wow.
I like to say I'm hoping I'm not growing anymore. And I definitely don't want to shrink as I get older. I'm 49 now, and I try to do what I can to keep this body together.
Yeah, I think you're doing an okay job. I think most people would agree with that. So many comments thanking you for your service to the community, being a great example. I cannot tell you how many folks are saying that. One last question someone did ask, if someone wants to volunteer, whether it's with the event or with your foundation, how would they be able to do that, or would they?
Yeah, in the future, obviously volunteers are, we have everybody stocked up right now, but go to bullardfamilyfoundation.org. BULLARD, familyfoundation.org, and you'll be able to find out any and all information that you want in regards to not only how to volunteer, but also how to sow if you want to donate, if you want to participate in any of our events as they come up. You're more than welcome to. You can leave an email too. Some of the stuff that we do is not even on the website, just because we do so much. But we do a lot of things in partnership, so we work with a lot of organizations, great organizations here in Tampa Bay, like Metropolitan Ministries, Feeding Tampa Bay. We have a robust mental health and wellness program that we started at SLY with Tampa Bay Thrives, and we're getting ready to open up 10 more mental health Zen-Dens throughout the region. We've come to find that the stigma is slowly but surely breaking. I believe in mental health. There was a lot of trauma even as an adult that I never addressed, and I discovered the beauty in figuring that stuff out. And it's just as important to me as me going to the gym. And so for anyone that wants to participate, bullardfamilyfoundation.org is the best source to go to. And you can follow us on all our social media platforms. BFF Tampa is on Instagram and Twitter.
9:01 tomorrow morning, Raymond James Stadium through 101. The weather will be great, an amazing event. So again, if you want to go on over, people are lining up early. I mean, you said some very early. The medical, the dental, whatnot, those are already full, correct?
Yeah, correct. So don't let that discourage you from coming, because again, people don't show up. And if you're there early, we will definitely make sure that you get in. We had a couple of families that were in that situation. They were there at 5:30. It was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I was not able to sign up for the dental, and one couldn't sign up for eyeglasses, and they had a pair of eyeglasses on that had a broken arm and they were leaning, and I immediately, my heart just sank, just because that's how I had to show up to school as a kid, because my mom couldn't afford to have. Medicare only allowed us to get one pair of glasses a year, and if I got into a fight, glasses were broken, and so that my heart immediately went out to that family, and they were, even though they were not registered, we made sure they got taken care of. So God works and they say God works in mysterious ways. I think He works very deliberately. There's nothing mysterious about what happens when great people come together to do something special, and we're all one situation away from being in a better situation, and we're also one situation away from being in a worse situation. Yep. So I just want to try to make sure that we get as many people at Raymond James Stadium that are looking to go in the right direction, and doing that in a unified way.
Well, amen to that. Thank you so much for stopping by. Good luck tomorrow. I really appreciate it. The comments are just going crazy. You're an inspiration to the community. And again, that is first chance I've had to meet you. Just as great of a guy on TV and everywhere else as he is in person. So again, thank you. Have a good luck tomorrow, and hopefully we will see you again with another event. Anytime you guys got anything going on with the foundation, let us know, and we'll definitely be talking about it.
Thank you for having me on.
Thanks again, Thaddeus. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, how about that? That was awesome. That is Titus O'Neil, WWE legend. Grew up northwest of Gainesville in the Live Oak area. Made a name for himself at the University of Florida, and then obviously a legend in WWE and a wonderful part of this community for decades now. And if you just go and look through Instagram and you go through he's so active in the community. And tomorrow's event from 9:01 to 1:01 is just another example. So again, thank you so much for stopping by. All right, we are going to talk about the weather since tomorrow morning. Now that we've said it's not going to rain, we better make darn sure it's not going to rain. And there is a look at what's going on right now. I'll tell you, there are some pretty decent thunderstorms across Highlands County and in through DeSoto and Hardy County. Those are moving from south to north, and they're going to linger for a few more hours. But ultimately, I would expect we are going to be looking at this rain winding down by about 10:30 or 11. Still some scattered showers across the area. And Jonathan's coming in, Titus, to take your mic so you don't have to hang. So appreciate it again coming out. So there's a look at from areas from Citrus, Hernando, Pasco County, down through western Manatee County. And then there's all the storms, plenty of lightning as well across Hardy, DeSoto, and Highlands County. There's the rain we've seen over the last 24 hours. And yeah, I know some of it has been today. Matter of fact, a lot of it's been today from Sarasota and Manatee. But overall, the bulk of this rain that you see there, that was on Thursday. And we've talked about this so many times. I know you guys are probably sick of me talking about it. But at the end of the day, every bit of rain that we get from August through September is going to be a bonus. But it's not going to end the drought. Although, you know, Citrus County, last check, they actually are out of their drought. Now, they've had a lot more rain than everybody else over the last couple of weeks, but they're now just officially no longer in a drought and abnormally dry. The rest of us still in a drought. But I'm telling you, we have turned the corner. Now, what do I mean by that? All right, well, first of all, August traditionally is our rainiest month of the year historically. So we're already going to get some rain in August. Even last year in our drought, we got rain in August into September. The problem is we just didn't get enough. And then once we hit November, December, January, February, March, April, May, that's when we really went down to that deficit. But let me tell you, we're not going to have that problem this year. And we've talked about this 11 billion times. El Nino is going to give us a very rainy and stormy second half of the fall and all of the winter. Now, what does that mean? All right, it means obviously we're going to have more fronts than we typically do. So there's going to be more rain. Now, along those fronts, I would expect there could be a severe storm or outbreak or two. And unfortunately, if you remember back in '97, when we had a massive line of thunderstorms with a squall line, 42 people died from a tornado that hit Kissimmee as that squall line moved through our area first, not as a tornado, just as some strong thunderstorms. And then it spawned the tornado and unfortunately hit a mobile home park in Kissimmee. But my point is, you will see active fronts late fall into the winter, more than likely into the winter even more so. Those fronts are going to bring a lot of rain. There will be snow across the southeast with cold snaps that come in at the same time. And we will see our share of severe weather outbreaks, probably with some tornadoes. So that's the downside. But on the positive side, we ain't going to be talking drought. I'm telling you. By the time we roll into New Year's and beyond, we are going to have an excess amount of rain. I would be flabbergasted if we are not well above average by the time we roll into February, March, and April. That's kind of the way that I'm looking right now. Wait a minute, Red, Gecko Fest is this weekend? Is it really? I mean, I'm not sure if you're saying that, but holy cow, we were live. We did our at that point, it was ABC Action News listening booth, I think. And that was at Gecko Fest. That was a year ago? Really? Man, time flies. Unbelievable. I can't even begin to tell you. Where does it go? It's saying, no, it's not. All right. Because holy cow. I can't remember when it was. It's all a blur. Temperatures right now anywhere from the upper 70s to the lower 80s outside Rivergate Tower. Ooh, cool shot there. 83 degrees and partly cloudy skies. The dew point of 76, northeast winds at 6 miles an hour. I love that shot. Hold on, I got to get rid of that. That graphic so we can see it. That's a nice looking shot right there. You got your blue sky on the left. You got your towering Q in the middle. Maybe a little bit of rain there, and then clearing over on the right. Loving that. All right, 92 the high today. The average is 91. Morning low dropped down to 73. Holy cow, look at that shot. All right, I got to post that. Stand by. I got to post that on social right now. All right, what should I write? Holy cow, what a sunset. How's it looking where you are? All right, that is a beautiful sunset. All right, let's go ahead and post this. See, we could we could be on DPL while we are posting stuff. Stand by. Almost done. All right, post it. There we go. That is a look at all those people watching it. I don't blame them. That's insane. All right, no rain at the airport today. Wow, the daily record. Now that's interesting. Go back. Look at the daily record at 4.15 inches. That was the year of Charlie. That was Hurricane Charlie's year. When was Charlie? Charlie was later in August, right? When was Hurricane Charlie? Well, first of all, we didn't get that much rain with Hurricane Charlie. It all went to Orlando. Hurricane Charlie, 2004. That was August 13th. So coming up, it's a week out, 6 days out. Dang. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, you guys all knew. You guys all knew 813. All right, there's a look at the satellite and the radar. And as I've been saying, now this is a term I often use, and I'm going to tell you, I swiped this term from my mentor, Bob Ryan. So I grew up in Northern Virginia, and the weather person that I was always just enamored with was Bob Ryan. Bob Ryan was a meteorologist at WRC in Washington, D.C. And he used to use the expression self-destructive sunshine. And what do we mean by that? So when you get an area of rain like we had earlier, that works over the atmosphere, right? And it stabilizes everything because the temperatures cool off. And it uses up a lot of the energy, all right? When you get skies clearing after that, or in a day, any day actually, when the heating comes into play with rain formation, the more sunshine you get, the hotter the temperatures get, the more the atmosphere destabilized, the better the chance rain happens. So today we had that line move through, we get the storms pop, it's worked over, but then the sun returns, and we call that self-destructive sunshine because it creates more storms. That is a Bob Ryanism. One of the highlights of my career, Bob Ryan reached out to me years and years and years ago and asked me how I was so successful on social media. And I gave him some advice and some opinions. And I'm like, Mr. Ryan, you were my idol growing up. So much of my delivery I got from watching you over the years. So for you to ask me how things were going and how to do things was just absolutely amazing. So anyway, tomorrow we do it all over again. The morning will be sunny, 9:01 for the back to school event, and right on through the afternoon. I do think by late afternoon, early evening, we see another round of storms, and then less moisture comes in, and with less moisture coming in, rain chances go down on Sunday, but even more so the early part of next week. All right, in the tropics, there's the tropical wave. There is a little bit of action way out there. Now, streamers, you're about to head on out. If you want to hear me talking about the tropics, what my thoughts are on that, check us in. We're still live on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. Otherwise, streamers, have a great night, and we'll see you on Monday's edition of DPL. All right, streamers are out. Remember, guys, when you always had to use to tell me streamers were coming out because I always needed cues? Little story. I always knew the timing. I just like to have you guys help out because it's more fun, makes you feel like a producer. but there's a clock right there. Literally, there's a clock right in front of me, 7:58, 20, 21, 22, 23. It's right there. See, I just try to delegate and embrace. So, anyway, all right, we'll talk about tropics in a minute. Yeah, let's go ahead and take, no, we don't need to take that full. All right, there's your beach forecast. Scattered storms in the afternoon into the early evening. And for the boaters tomorrow, watch out for storms after 5 or 5:30. You'll be good to then. Southeast winds 5 to 10 knots, seas a foot or two. Water temperature, clear water, 87 degrees. Heather wants to know what the weekend weather's looking like. Well, you know what, Heather? Ask and ye shall receive. There it is. Let's go through the 7-day, all right? Tomorrow, high of 89 to 90. Rain chances will be primarily mid to late afternoon, coming back toward our coast through the late afternoon or early evening. Sunday, same setup for wind direction and pattern flow, but a little drier air, so a little less rain. Coverage down to 40 to 50%. And then by Monday, we're down to 20%. For the rest of the work week, we are down to 20% as rain chances drop down pretty significantly. Let's talk tropics, shall we? We already showed you this map yesterday, all right? Now, this is important. So, yet again, the northern and central Gulf, neither here nor there, so no, not positive or negative in terms of potential development. But look at all the drier air from the Caribbean to the Atlantic. All right? That is to the 18th. Through the 25th, look at all the drier air all the way to Africa. That right there, my friends, is a pair of lips. That also, my friends, is the entire main development region. And look at that, right? So you've got very little I'm not going to say zero because, you know, very little opportunity. Vicki, how you doing? Vicki Norton Photography. Vicki Norton's an awesome photographer. She is. But Vicki, if you just got here, did you see, wait a minute, let's take this other map. Did you see this? Look, let's see if it's still cool. It might not be. Look at the shot from Anna Marie Island. Look at that one. How about that one? Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. All right, let's go back. So, point is, yes, we showed you that little wave out there, right? We showed you the little wave that was way out there off the coast of Africa. And it is going to be running in to this stable, drier air mass. Now, that's not to say something can't form, but let's look at the Euro. And this is a perfect example of what we're talking about here. Let's call up the tropical Atlantic here. All right, here we go. So you've got that little wave that's out there, and the Euro ensemble is saying, hey, maybe there's a slight chance that this turns into a depression. And then we track it, and it goes across the ocean. And, you know, we see this, and we're like, all right, here we go. The season's starting. Here we go. Buckle up. The season is starting. And, yeah, not on TV tonight. WNBA's on tonight. Season's starting. And look, all of a sudden, we're like, all right, this takes us through next Friday. But look what happens as it moves into the Caribbean. Poof. 144, 168. Look at that. 144 hours, 168, poof. Because almost always in a significant El Nino, the Caribbean is shut down. Shut down. So, poof. And even the one that goes north of the islands, poof. Poof. So, what this tells us is what we were looking at here. No, not here. Here, with that drier air, that's what happens. All right? Poof. So, what about for us? No, I don't want to look at temperatures. Let's look at rain. I already looked at Futurecast, but let's show you the Euro. All right, 8 o'clock. Oops, let's go back. All right, here's 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, dry. 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, isolated. 8 o'clock tomorrow night, pretty active. Classic Florida summer. Sunday morning, that's 2 a.m., gone. 8 a.m. on Sunday morning, nothing. 2 p.m. on Sunday afternoon, nothing. 8 o'clock in the afternoon, evening, there it is again. East to west pattern. Monday, 8 a.m., 2 p.m., 8 p.m., not much. My daughter's last day of freedom as school starts back up on Tuesday. Can you believe? Man, it just flies, doesn't it? It just flies. It flies. Ryan wants to know how the water situation is going. Well, my house hasn't fallen into a giant sinkhole yet, so that's a plus. I don't know. I don't know if that will continue. But 1.2 million gallons of reclaimed water went somewhere. I don't know where, and I certainly hope it wasn't under the house. That would be bad. But notice how much drier it is. There's Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night, way less coverage. It's not going to be zero coverage because it's August, and we are in prime time for development, but it's going to be way below average. This is next Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Not much. Look at, holy cow. And then that's current. So yeah, next week's going to be really dry. And if you look at the overall rain, you can kind of see this. This is the next 7 days. Most of that will be the next 24 to 48 hours. And then after that, we're in for a dry stretch into the rest of next week with no tropical cyclone activity. Well, here, let's hit the refresh. Yep, all right, 8 o'clock as well. Nothing expected over the next 7 days. So there it is, my friends. What's going on in your world? What is up with you guys? Anything exciting? Any weekend plans? So my son leaves for Gainesville next weekend. Sad. It's always a sad thing. I mean, I remember when my oldest son, Brett, went to college for the first time, and he went to USF. He was still close, but he lived in the dorms. I was just devastated. So anyway, my youngest son, Jake, starts UF in 8 days. He's going to be living in the Honors Village, which is a really cool place. Really, really cool. It's very exciting. He's going to thrive. I'm sure he will. He'll love it. But, you know, we'll miss him. So that's going to be next Saturday. And Ryan starts school on Tuesday. So she's excited. 7th grade. So she's no longer the younger in the middle school. She's in the middle of the middle school. So she's doing good. And it just flies. It's just crazy. It just flies. So Adam's over talking about Taco Bell. TMI, Adam. TMI. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure the teachers, I think Ryan's, I don't know. I think she's excited to see her friends again. You guys know how that is. I think, see, how do I put this? I was never a fan of going to school. I was good at school. I was really good, but I was never really a fan of going. Ryan is a fan of going and seeing all her friends and all that, you know, so, and it's new teachers. I don't know if that's a girl thing or not. I think with my daughters, I found out it was, you know, it was more of a social thing, like going to school. Who's in your new classes, and who are your teachers, and where are you going to sit at lunch? I don't know if that's a guy thing or not. Maybe it is with some, but I don't think it ever was with my kids, like my boys. I have 4 boys and 2 girls. I don't think the boys really, if they did, they never told me. They're never like, oh, I can't wait to go see my friends, or I can't wait to see who my homeroom teacher is, or I can't. No, they're just kind of like me, like, I got to get out of bed. But the girls were always all about seeing the friends and all that kind of stuff. That was never me. So Crystal's asking about Stormy. That would be tomorrow. Tomorrow's the big day. Tomorrow's the big day. And you know what? Let me share you what's been going on with that. I'm going to go ahead and share with it since y'all kind of know. Mama cat, who we could not trap, Mama cat's, you know, must be kind of I don't know, has a wild side. She got pregnant again. 4 kittens. Ended up on the roof yet again. On my neighbor's roof, 4 kittens. So she got the 4 kittens and has nursed them, and they're doing good, and I think found homes for all 4 of them. But Mama Cat was hungry, and finally we were able to get Mama Cat trapped in a trap, spayed her, and released her right back out again. I would have loved to have seen Mama Cat make it to a home, but she's just seems to be too feral to want to be a domesticated cat. But, you know, she's had a rough couple weeks, because she had 4 kittens, and those kittens are going to homes, and Mama Cat was spayed, and I feel bad. I mean, I really kind of do, but, you know, I would have loved to have found a home for her, but I don't think that's what she wanted to do. I think she wanted to be free and not running around, and she is, and this time she's not going to, no more kittens. So anyway, that's supposed to happen tomorrow with Stormy. I guess that's about it. Yeah, so, yeah, our neighbor did. Our neighbor, Sherry, borrowed a trap from someone, and we had traps all over our backyard, like 6 traps. And we could not, Mama Cat was too smart, would not go into those traps. But when we were out of town for our cruise, we weren't feeding her. So Mama Cat was hungry. So it made her more willing, I think, to go into the trap where the food was, and got her, and she was spayed, and now she's free and running around, and no more kittens. So there you go. Good luck, Joy. Oh, a bowling competition tomorrow. That's awesome. Good luck. Very good luck. Kelly's going to the Threshers Veterans and Military Appreciation tomorrow. How will the weather be? I think you'll be dodging some rain, but I don't think it'll be rain out. I think you'll be dodging some raindrops. Typical Florida stuff. So yeah. So that's what's happening. Don't know. You guys heard I had a 1.2 million gallon leak on my reclaimed water, which I never heard about until 3.5 months later, when the county finally showed up and said, hey, you got a big leak, we're cutting off your water. Would have been nice to know 3 months earlier, $2,000 prior. Would have been nice. But we did get the leak fixed. We fixed the leak, and now it's no leak anymore. I'm just wondering if that one, I mean, obviously it's a little concerning that you have 1.2 million gallons, and might it have gone under the house? And if it did, is the house going to come down into a giant sinkhole? Somewhat concerning. Looked around, didn't see any depressions or anything, but time will tell, I guess. So that was my week. So I'm going to grab some dinner. How's the offshore fishing weather going? What day, Heather? Are you wanting to go tomorrow? Because I think you'll be just fine. Southeast winds. Southeast winds, I think probably 10 to 15. So that's kind of my guess. Let me look. Let's see real quick. Pretty sure that's what they'll be, though. Yep. Southeast winds 10, couple of feet. Yep. So there you go. Should be good. Should be good. All right. Yeah, you'll be good, Heather. You should be good. All right. Well, you guys, I don't know, Kurt. I don't know. You have to file a dispute, I guess, and show that it's been fixed, which it was, and then hopefully they do. Because, yeah, that, again, hi, we're shutting off your reclaimed water. Oh, is it leaking? Yeah, for 3 months, 1.2 million gallons. What? That's kind of how it played out. So, all right. Adam, TMI. All right. You guys have a good night. We'll be back on Monday. I can't remember who our guest is on Monday, but we got lots of guests coming up. The tropics still remain quiet. Scattered storms out there. Let's do one more check of radar, shall we? And one more check of the sunset. Holy cow, that is a... Oh, wow, look at there. Let's watch the sunset. Let's watch it go down. Up, watch. Here we go. That is pretty awesome right there. There it goes. There it goes. And there it goes. Awesome sunset. Awesome. That is a great looking shot right there. All right, one more look at radar real quick before we call it a night. And I eat potato skins for dinner. Frozen potato skins. Yum. All right, there we go. Highlands County, pretty heavy rain. Let's go ahead and loop this over the last 45 minutes. This is moving northwest. So yeah, Hardy, DeSoto, Highlands, Eastern, Sarasota, and Manatee. Still going to see some of this. Maybe even into Polk as well. So we will definitely have to watch that. All right. Thank you, Jackie. Appreciate it. I did not see the green flash, Michael. I looked. Did not. All right, guys. Have a wonderful night. As always, appreciate you taking your time and hanging out with us on a Friday night or any other night. We'll be back on the spot Monday. Have a great night, and we will see you on Monday's edition of Dennis Phillips Live. See you guys.